There we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. The music is very loud. There we go. Welcome, everybody, once again to Parting the Veil, the show where we pull back the curtains and give you a behind-the-scenes look at your favorite content creators. I am your host, Hedron Ferry, and today there appears to be a man-eating plant in my office that may or may not want to eat me. Help, I might be in danger. But seriously, give it up for somebody that I'm very excited to give a bit more of a spotlight to and really get into the information behind. This is the lovely Bellerose Blooms. Give it up, give it up.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Would you like to go ahead and start us off with a quick rundown of kind of who you are and what you do?
So I've been streaming for quite a number of years. I streamed with a few people for probably about 2 or 3 years, and then got a little bit busy, dropped it for a few years, and then picked it back up within the last couple of years after I picked up Live 2D and just kind of made a Live 2D model on a whim. I kind of stream retro, I stream indie, I stream a lot of indie. And I'm wanting to get into kind of like interactive streams and streams that are just like chatting. I'm still working on my OBS side of things to make things interesting.
Is always the eternal struggle is making sure the technical side of things is running properly.
It's a full set of skills.
It really is.
I used to kind of like look down on people that like purchase their models, but like afterwards I realized that like you can't say oh they just bought their model, because there's like you have to puppet the model, you have to import, you have to be the producer, you have to be charming and funny. Like it's a completely huge swath of skills that not everybody has all of them.
Very true. In fact, if you don't mind me starting off the show by asking, you said that you kind of got into Live 2D for a while. Holy shit, that's impressive. Can I ask how you got started with that, or have you just been an artist for years and figured, I'm going to try this now?
I have been drawing for many years, yes. Not professionally, just a hobbyist. And that's kind of the way I prefer it, because I'm not sure if I could do drawing as a job, because I find myself not being easily motivated if it's something that I'm not personally invested in. But I picked up Live 2D, and I think there was like a sale on it. There was like a 90-day demo, I think. And there were lots of tutorials online, so I wanted to see if I could do it. And I wound up, at the end of it, I wound up with a model. And then afterwards, it was like, well, okay, what am I gonna do with it? Just like look at it. So I tried it out, and
I think
it
the
just
two
kind
options
of
at that
snowballed
point
from there.
Two options at that point are usually sell it or use it. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I've kind of thought about making simple models for people. Like I feel like I could possibly do that.
there's a market for it.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a market for it.
If that's ever a thing that you decide to do, I'll certainly be checking your stuff out when and if I have money someday.
Thank you.
So
I think I might start off by just like making little gift models for friends.
which is probably the nicest way to start things. Plus, it gets your foot in the door and kind of gets your name out there.
Yeah.
Did you make the one that you're currently using?
Yes. This is actually my third model. It's been the same character each time, but with technical and experience advancements.
Okay. Well, it definitely is very, if I may, it's very detailed and very beautiful right now. I really love the theme of everything. You're a very talented artist, I can tell. Very creative.
Thank you. It makes me feel good that a lot of people have complimented that it's very unique looking.
I agree.
That it's a neat idea.
It's giving a very I don't know how you're gonna take this, but it's giving a very kind of like Monster Girl Encyclopedia vibe, which ironically
Yeah,
you don't see a lot of in the VTuber space. There's a lot of like very, how do I put this? There's a certain VTuber look, and you've managed to avoid that while also being like clean and stylized in a very appealing way. I'm very
yeah.
impressed.
So this isn't to knock anybody. Obviously, everybody likes what they like, but I was around when VTubing started becoming like it was still kind of exclusive. I think it was Kazuna AI that kind of uh, pioneered the whole thing, and she had the setup,
That
and
was
not
how I first
everybody
heard of it.
could. Yeah, not everybody could do VTubing. Now everybody and their grandma can do VTubing.
True.
It's the a good way to kind of set yourself apart is to stand out. And a lot of models that I'm seeing are a lot of them are anime styled. I'm not even sure. I mean, this is kind of anime styled too, I think. Um, but they all have kind of a similar aesthetic. Um, some of them are very complex and like complicatedly designed. And when a lot of them are like that, it's kind of like if everyone's special, nobody is. You
Very
know?
true.
Yeah. So I just kind of, with my design sensibilities, I kind of just went simple and expressive. Like the eyes, for example, they're very minimalist, uh, and that's on purpose because a lot of eyes in the VTubing space are very, very, very complicated.
Very true. Also, guilty as charged. But I am very impressed. You said this was your third model,
Yes,
and
yes,
the other two were similar.
yes. They were the same character, just advanced over time.
Fair
Like
enough.
with the first model, I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I wanted to see if I could do a few toggles that I wanted, and that one worked pretty good. And then when I made the second one, I really leaned into this character being like it's obviously femme presenting right now, but there are uh, toggles that allow them to shape shift to become more mask or like change colors and all that kind of stuff. I wanted it to be very LGBT friendly.
Which we stand.
Yeah.
Although that does raise the question, though. This is a bit more of a lore question, I guess. But I can't help but notice that the very large, all-seeing eye poking out from the bottom there is the lovely plant lady I'm talking to the character, or is the character more where's the brain?
Well, I mean, depending on who you ask, there is no brain.
That's
But
so valid, though.
yeah. So what I like to think is that everything that the monster is contained inside the pot, and what you're talking to and looking at is just like a puppet.
Ah, the anglerfish approach. You'll love to
Yes,
see it.
yes. So like, if you were to cut the head off, it wouldn't actually hurt.
Fair. I mean, probably a little bit. You know, just,
I
ow, I
mean, it
cut
would
my
hurt a
finger,
little
but
bit, but like, yeah, it's like losing a finger, I suppose.
fair enough. Well, you in there, I see you, and you're just as adorable. So, um, yeah,
I
and
feel so noticed.
I'm glad you do, and we stand. So, speaking of your just general art career in as a whole, outside of kind of making models personally, we'll get to more content stuff later, I promise. But you fascinated me now. Outside of getting into like live 2D and model work, you said that you're an artist as a hobby. Do you have
Yeah.
any places you post things that maybe people could go check out, or do you just kind
Mm,
of keep everything to yourself and just kind of do it for your own self?
So when I was younger, I had pages that I uploaded stuff to, and it was like I think I was in high school at the time, and it was just like doodles from the notebook. Sometimes I would crack open like an image editor and do stuff like that. Um, but I kind of just stopped uploading to places. The only places I really post anything is like on social media now. Um, and that's probably because my drawing has gotten a lot more sporadic over the years. So
as
I
tends to
don't
happen.
I don't really yeah, I don't really see the point of maintaining a page where it's like I only upload like one or two things a year and they're not like huge grand pieces. They're just like I have to be in a special mood to actually sit down and make a like a finished art piece.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you have anything major that you're proud of recently, or would you rather me kind of let that be?
Uh I can't really think of anything that I'm proud of recently. I mean, I kind of count this as my art piece because there's a lot of planning at the art stage that you have to take into account. There's a lot of knowing where your layers have to be, um, and there's some design aesthetics that I took into. Like, I consider this to be an art piece, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard that this is a relatively new, like version 3 is like as of the past couple weeks just come into existence. So
I literally imported it into VTube Studio tonight before we because I didn't have the time otherwise. Like I finished it last night the way I wanted it to be, and there's still some things that I want to do to it, but like I wanted it in an operational capacities before. Like I've got to do this, and then I don't say I gotta. I planned to do this, and then I plan to do something tomorrow too. So I wanted to at least have it for that.
I definitely appreciate you like going the extra mile for the show, and Hedron Ferry exclusive. We're getting kind of a pre-alpha debut, which is wonderful. And I'm sure when it's fully finished, it'll be even more amazing than it is right now.
Yeah, there's a few more toggles that I want to add.
Fair enough.
But I'm really proud of it. Like there's something about setting your mind to something and doing it and then seeing the results. It's just satisfying.
I fully agree. Someday I will know what that's like. but okay. So if you don't mind if I kind of stay on the topic of the model a little bit, but move up from art into more of your kind of content sphere. So this character, I'm assuming her name is Bellerose, or their name is Bellerose.
Their name is Bellerose. I like to call them like by non-binary pronouns, but like they usually femme-present. Yeah,
that makes sense. They're a plant with a preference.
Yeah, it's what gets them the most food, honestly.
Which honestly makes a lot of sense.
People like a cute
That is very true. Which transitions smoothly into my next question. So, would you like to give us a little bit of lore for the character?
Yeah, sure. I can give it a little bit. So, I don't really have like a complex world that they live in, but they're obviously a monster. They're proud to be a monster. They were a plant that over time decided to grow human features and a mouth and ears and nose so they could see and hear and feel. And they decided to use that kind of because it's like they're a plant with superpowers, right?
Right.
Like plants can't like look and hear and talk and taste and all that kind of stuff. So
this is the VTuberverse. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. But they are very food motivated. They're
honestly same.
Food. And whenever they're not, they're kind of just like curious about the world and about meeting people.
Ah, yes. I wonder what this tastes like.
They like to practice their expressions and they like to practice talking. They figured out how to cry recently.
Aww.
Yeah. Aww. It's okay. It's fake tears.
Of course it is. So I'm assuming that's probably why they're up on camera streaming, is to like practice, human emotions and get better at it, I suppose.
Honestly, I haven't really gotten around to like playing it up like on the streams. Like I play it up a little bit. So we have this thing called Garden Side Chat, which is basically what we're doing here, where I invite somebody over and we just talk. And I like to invite people. I like to invite monsters. I like to invite people that I vibe with. And we just kind of bullshit for about an hour. It's fun.
Fair enough. My character is a capitalist, kind of. Does that make me a monster?
I don't know. Are you in one of the worlds where capitalism works, like Recettear, or are you in every other reality?
I don't want to get too much into this because this is your show, but essentially my character is supposed to be like a critique on corporate culture, just in general. I work for an evil
Uh-huh.
corporation and am not paid enough to care. So that's the sum up.
Okay, so
But
you go into EvoCo every day and just really half-ass it.
basically, yeah. I don't even half-ass it. I like, I love my job. I just don't get paid enough to ask questions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, do you do
But
stuff like pollute and dump in the river?
I don't want to spoil too much, but essentially the company's trying to take over the world. But shh, we don't know that. We haven't gotten to that
Uh,
stage of the lore yet.
I'd say they can have it at this point.
Honestly, they might do better than the people running
It's a
it
real
now.
fixer-upper. Please take it.
Yeah, really. What was it? I saw a comic the other day. I think it was XKCD. Somebody writing a letter that said like "Dear the Illuminati, the Shadow Government," and listed like every supposed organization that runs the world on the two line, and the body of the text was just, "Can you get your shit together, please? This is embarrassing." Signed, a concerned citizen. But anyways, we've gotten super off the rails here. So, but it's absolutely fascinating. I love the character. I think she looks. I think they look gorgeous. I'm terribly sorry. Um,
Don't worry about it.
but pulling back a little bit, if I can go a little behind the scenes. So this character is being piloted by obviously somebody else. Do you mind if I ask a little bit about kind of what you do in your free time? Kind of give a little bit of information behind the scenes, not what you do on stream, but what you do kind of off camera.
Mm, I don't have a lot of free time these days, honestly. Like I
That's such a
fit into that category where I don't know if you could tell by my voice, but I am older. Um,
valid.
and I have a full-time job. I have a house. I'm here. I live alone. I've got my dog. Um, just adorable, lovely little dog.
We stand.
Um, but in my free time, I like to play video games. I like to watch video essays. Um, I like to watch review videos. I like to draw occasionally. Most of my time is just like video games, and if it's not my own streams, it's just palling around with people on theirs.
Oh God, you're just like me for real.
Well, I mean, I what am I supposed to say? Is I go hang gliding. It's I mean, I hope that you get somebody on the show that does do that. That would be very exciting.
Oh,
But
hey, believe me, I am the biggest supporter of a simple, quiet life is the good life. The less
yeah,
happening, the less bad things are happening. No,
I guess another way to put it is it's very easy to be a homebody right now because it's not really hospitable outside right
very,
now.
very true. God, this is what, the coldest winter we've had in recorded history?
Yeah, I hate the winter. And I used to love the winter, but I guess that was until I grew up and realized that I have to drive in snow.
Oof. But fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So you mentioned you currently are employed full time. Do you
Yeah.
mind if I don't want to get too personal, but do you mind if I ask kind of vaguely what you do?
It's an office job. It's
Okay.
an internal support office job. I sit a lot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hacking away at a keyboard and
Yeah.
pretend you're working.
Well, there's enough there to keep me like alert. It's not like the same thing every day, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, it's good at least. Relating to Dilbert back before we realized Scott Adams was an asshole. But
Well, today was a little frustrating because uh, the company is leaning towards AI now because AI is the way things going, and AI is you need to take this class. It's going to be good for you. It's
oof.
I am gonna swallow my words on that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry you got to put up with that. Jeez. Well, a little bit of a lighter subject then. Do you hope to maybe do this full time someday, or are you okay with this just being a hobby? This being
It's
streaming and content creation and whatnot.
it's not my goal. Um, I don't think it would be realistic for me to have that as a goal, just because I have in order to make this a thing, you have to be you have to do a lot of things. You have to be consistent for one thing.
Very true.
which I am not a consistent person in terms of my streaming. Like I don't even schedule. Um, it's just and I would have to do things that I don't want to do, like if you want to make this a thing, you have to make sure that your views keep rising, and you have to do the social media outreach, and you have to do like what's popular right now. I have to play what's popular, um, and I just don't see myself doing that kind of stuff. It's the same reason that I didn't go to art school for anything, even though I loved art. It's you have to do so much networking and traveling and just stuff that I don't want to do.
Fair. Um, well, to say that, then, do you have any long term goals or aspirations in terms of your content creation journey, or are you just kind of content where you are?
Uh, I think I just set personal goals for myself. Um, like the one thing that I want to do is I want to improve my OBS setup, which I have a setup right now that's kind of like garden themed, but I would really like to have a theme that's kind of draws off of old JRPGs with like battle
Ooh,
menus and stuff, and have it be kind of an interactive thing where people can, they could attack me, or they could like give me something, or right now I have toggles to where people could change my appearance, like my pedal colors, my body shape, that kind of stuff.
that's such a good idea. If you ever figure out how to do that, you should definitely like see if you can make that, if not like public, at least kind of put out there that's a thing you can do, because like that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, like with my second model, I actually did have the whole color changing and body changing thing set up. So with this, it's kind of like a fresh start. And I do have the toggles, and I've got, things have changed as far as like redeems and stuff. So I have to just go back and redo that and make it cleaner.
Very fair.
But I could show you at some point here what some of the toggles are like.
If you want to, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Feel free to show off whatever you want.
Uh, let me see what I can do here.
We'll see if we can make everything disappear because of the way we have it keyed right now.
Okay, expression editor.
While you're getting that set up, I can just mention it was so fun getting all of the keying and everything done while they were getting set up, because oh boy, did we have some trouble getting that set up correctly. Entirely technical issues on my side, but like I don't know what it is. OBS is just being finicky today.
So like this is the base form, and then you've got,
There's a menu.
where's my colors? I can do the colors here. These are on a slider, so I can get a nice red. I can go lighter, or I can go darker.
Why is there a phone number written on the back of this menu? That was a joke. That was a joke.
I just didn't know what to say.
I was just being silly.
Yeah. So I could go with a longer tie or a shorter tie.
Oh, these aren't just like individual toggles. These are like sliders. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, these are sliders. The color sliders I'm pretty satisfied with. Like,
oh, that's so
nice
neat.
Tropical red.
I wasn't sure how to like work it into a proper question, but I was so curious if it was like if you could change the color arbitrarily or if you had to like do presets. That's so neat.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it theoretically possible to set it up so that these colors are on an automatic rotation so that you're just constantly rainbow cycling the whole time?
I probably could, but I wouldn't want to do that.
That's fair.
Because that could be a little not so easy on the eyes.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, if you slowed it down, maybe, but I don't know. I'm just curious. But that's
like
really
I can
neat.
just kind of palette pick any kind of combination I want.
Wow, you really can just RGB it up. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Have
And
you
then
considered?
I'm looking to set one up for the skin tone, for the hair, and the pot.
Okay. Are you planning on having like different overall color schemes for different types of streams, or is it just going to kind of be, what do I feel like being today, and here's what chat wants me to be, and all kinds of stuff like
Yeah,
that?
well, I mean, I was gonna have redeems where like the chat could choose what kind of color they want for a certain thing.
Okay.
Or like with all these, I can actually create a preset too. So like I could say this is Hawaiian, and if someone wants to redeem Hawaiian, then it would all just change to this.
That's so cool. See, now I wish I had a live 2D model, because that's really neat.
Here's one that's really cute that I like. So this is toggle hide. These are meant to all kind of fire off at once. So
Okay.
I can actually hide inside the pot.
Oh,
So
okay.
this kind of opens up. These kind of go down, right? And if I
Right.
want, I can just have a cute little pose like this.
True.
Like, hey, come here. Come here. I won't
I'm
hurt
not.
you.
It's perfectly safe. There's nothing bad going on.
I need you to help me.
To be fair,
And then,
it would work on me.
and then I could just go down like this.
And then swoos.
And
That's
then I
so
can
cute. I love it.
look very cute.
See,
down
this
here
is
like
how you
this.
intro your streams, just kind of like peeking out. Oh, I love it. I'm even more impressed now. Oh no, you're eating yourself.
Ah, help me. Help me. I need you to get me out. Jump right in.
I have no further questions. I'm coming. Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
I'm in need of assistance.
Oh, I
And
love
then
it.
what other things we got here? We got boobs.
Of
Toggle
course.
boobs. There we go. No boobs.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah. So this is kind of the boyish form.
This is like the most
Uh,
customizable model I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, we can
At least
work
I'm aware
out
of.
a little bit.
Oh, you can be buff. You can be
Yeah.
buff Bellerose. Okay.
Buff Bill, yeah.
Hell yeah. Oof. All right then.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
Swole.
one probably still needs a little bit of work. I need I need to make the face look tougher. So
I don't know.
I've got a baby face right now.
I don't know. I'm a fan of big muscles, baby face. It's a good combination.
Yeah. We got different abs. I can go that kind of definition there. I can go.
That's so neat.
A little bit more, and then we could go. We could go 6.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh my. That's so. This is the coolest. I have to tell you, I'm like starstruck. This is the coolest thing ever.
Thank you. I put a lot of work into it. And then we can actually make ourselves really small too.
For
like
those embarrassing
fill out-
moments.
Fill out the hips. This is like the standard here.
Okay.
We can make we can have girly lashes if we want, on or off. They're kind of off by default.
I think my OBS preview is too small. I can barely tell.
Um,
You can probably
there's
see
a
it better on the. Yeah,
Oh, I'm just looking at my own thing right now.
I got you.
But there's one where the tongue is supposed to stick out. I haven't finished that up yet.
Fair enough.
We can add curls. Those need to have physics on them. We can look angry.
Oof. Wait, scary. Oh no. I feel like I done fucked up.
No, not at all. Come here. Come here. Come on. What are you scared of?
You know what? I think I'm good. I'm sat behind my desk. I've got my phone back here. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
you look
good.
lonely back there.
No. It's what? It is totally fine. I'm the interviewer. You're the interviewee. This desk right here is an appropriate barrier for the two of us.
Uh-huh. I wasn't listening.
Oh Lord.
We've got long bangs here, which I haven't set up yet.
Ooh, I actually like that a lot though.
I want that kind of option, like what is it, the boy band kind of thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's got kind of like a 80s rock aesthetic going on.
We got lipstick. I can do lipstick.
Very pretty, very pretty, very kissable.
Yeah. Uh,
Somehow I get the feeling that if you go to Kiss, you would probably bad things would happen. But
no. What gives you that idea?
oh, just a hunch. Just I look at the fact there's teeth in multiple places on this model, and there's just it's just a hunch.
And we could even go full blown on the lips.
Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah.
that's moved a little bit beyond kissable.
That's like Bratz doll.
A little bit, yeah. Basically.
Get rid of that. Cheek puff. Oh yeah.
Ooh. So this is what you would look like after somebody approaches you from like how adorable and cute you're being.
Just like
why Bellerose? What do you have there? What are you eating? What smells like copper?
Well, I think that's all the interesting ones.
Well, you definitely have my attention and have sufficiently impressed me. That is super amazing. And I can only assume once it's like fully done, it's only going to get even more amazing.
Yeah, there's a few things more that I want to add.
I look forward to seeing it. So now that we've gone over kind of everything that the model can do, I do have to ask, as far as your kind of creative direction goes, did you have any major inspirations for the design or the character or anything like that, or was it just purely out of your own brain?
It actually started as a fan character from a video game.
Oh?
Have you ever played Disgaea?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
It's a strategy, tactical strategy RPG, and one of the characters, they have like monster races in that game, and one of them is basically a person inside of a giant plant.
Okay.
Like these curls here, that's kind of something that those characters have.
Fair enough. So it's a kind of a like an OC ascended into something a bit more original.
Yeah, like that, and I like that. I like people that have that.
There are a surprising number of YouTubers who I can only imagine started exactly that same way.
Because like, oh, who was it? There was a movie series that started as Twilight fan fiction, and I think it may have actually been 50 Shades of Grey.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, but there is a movie out there that basically started as fan fiction for another series. And honestly, that is so interesting.
Not that I want to not that I want to open this can of worms, but I feel like a decent amount of like young adult fiction turned into movies all kind of amounts to being Harry Potter fan fiction at the end of the day.
I wouldn't know.
Fair.
I do not know anything about Harry Potter, really.
Valid. So now we get to the kind of my VTuber specific question that is always fun to ask, and boy, this is going to be an interesting conversation if the answer is yes. But so the model here, are there? I'm terribly sorry. Let me collect my thoughts for a moment. Are there any similarities between the model you're using and your IRL appearance, if any? I'm going to assume probably not, but if there is, I'm sure there's a story behind it.
No, there's basically no connection.
That makes sense.
Like there is basically no connection. Like I told my mom about this because like she was curious about it, and she's of that age and generation where I had to explain to her, okay, this is a character that I like to play.
Right.
This character does not mean anything about me personally, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Which, it's basically true. Like, it's just a character that I like. I like entertaining people, and I like making funny jokes.
That's why we all do it, right?
Yeah. Well, some people, yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Some people have less than charitable motivations, I suppose. I apologize for the noises in the background. My doggie is being very hyperactive.
Oh, doggy. What's your doggie's name?
Her name's Nala.
Oh,
I did not.
Nala.
Yes, I did. I know that's a cat's name. I
Like
did
from
not name
Lion
her.
King.
Yes, like from Lion King. The woman I adopted her from. I don't know why she went with Nala, but she is a Shiba, so the color scheme matches. But
Okay.
she's my little princess, and she's a diva, and I love her.
Aw. Good for
And
you.
she never listens to me. She listens to my boyfriend. She doesn't listen to me. But but I don't know. All right. Well, this has been an absolutely fascinating look into the character. Nala, why are you barking? What do you need? Come on, Dougie. Why are you barking during my interview? Why do you always bark during my interviews? Terribly sorry. So this has been a fascinating look into the character, but now I think I tried to do this before and totally got sidetracked. But I once again like to kind of pull back and talk a little bit more about the person behind it. So, streaming career, content creation. What would you say kind of got you into doing that in the first place? Did you just kind of stumble into it, or what's the story there?
Well, I was around when Twitch was just Justin TV. And I'm making the old man, you don't know how good you have it argument. But
Fair.
if you wanted to play games with your friends online, you had to do that shit over Skype. You had to, it is, you all don't know how lucky you are with how connected you are with people that want to play games. But I think I was just around when streaming became a new thing, and there were some friends that I had hung around with that liked to stream, so I just kind of did it with them. Like I'm the kind of person where I do my best when I'm just hanging out with people, and that's another thing I want to work on. I kind of struggle when I'm by myself, but I guess I just kind of wanted to do things with people, and that was the intersection of my interests.
Fair enough. As far as your content goes, like, how do I phrase this? I know that you kind of do this just for yourself and do it with friends, but as far as the type of content you create, do you have any major, like, people you look up to or inspirations, or is it just, doing your own thing and not worrying about it?
I do my own thing, but I do have some people that I look up to.
Oh.
I look up to Jason Steele, who, do you know who Jason Steele is?
I do not.
Jason Steele is the animator who made the Llamas with Hats and Charlie the Unicorn cartoons. Are those familiar?
I've heard of them, yes. I have not seen them.
They're basically a short animation creator. They have a very surreal style. And they do stream on occasion. They do kind of like VTubing content, as you could call it. And it is very well done. It's got a surreal sense of humor. It kind of reminds me of Space Ghost. I look up to that kind of stuff. There's also somebody called This Is Goblin, who does VTubing with kind of a more animated slant to it. Like, again, it kind of reminds me of Space Ghost, and he's like a goblin in a cave, and he just kind of instead of like the smooth motion like this, like what we've got going on here, it looks like it's hand animated. And he's got like toggles to play different kind of animations. It's just people doing things with the medium that are different. Another big one, if I could remember the name, I can't remember it right now. Like night something. But they're actually making a model that is very reminiscent of stop motion animation. So anybody that does something interesting and different with the medium that stands out is somebody that I look up to.
That makes sense. I think you mentioned that's kind of consistent with what you said earlier. So, I would love to continue this line of questioning, but my dog really is absolutely going nuts. Would you have a problem if I went to take a short break just to kind of take care of her, and then we can come back and continue?
Go ahead.
I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I'm terribly sorry. And while I'm taking care of this break, once again, thank you all for being here and for kind of participating in being here for the interview and whatnot. So I will take a very short doggy break and probably play the ads over it so we don't have to worry about it after that. And then we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Bye-bye.
All right, we are back. We are back. There we go. Terribly sorry about that. I really don't know why my dog insists on interrupting my interviews like this. It's only during the interviews for some reason.
I think they get jealous.
Probably, yeah. She just wants attention. Poor doggy. But hopefully things are taken care of now. So where were we? I believe I was asking about got you into things, kind of inspirations. So if it's okay, I have my favorite question to ask now because it always leads to something interesting. As far as getting into content creation and being a person online with a platform and a following, as you were getting into things, did anything kind of surprise or shock you kind of going into this like world when you were first getting into it, or did you really feel kind of ready for anything?
Um, so yeah, I could see why this would spark something interesting. So my biggest thing when I was starting to get interested in the kind of VTubing spaces is reconciling the fact that I am an older person and I am in a circle that has a lot of young people. And I spent a lot of time kind of considering if something like this was even like appropriate for me to be doing. Do you know what I mean?
Valid concern.
Yeah. Um, for a while, I felt I was just like a big kid at the little table, or
How
like
do
an
you do,
adult at the
fellow
kid table.
teens?
Yeah. Um, but after a while, I actually found people and groups that are like my age, and they are doing things like this. Um, and it made me kind of feel not so like alienated and not so um, apprehensive about doing this.
It's one of the joys of the medium, right? Is it's inherently like anonymous, so because we're all being represented by characters anyways, kind of
Yeah,
anybody can do it.
that's something that I really enjoy because I do like to put the mask on. That's what I call it. I do like to put the mask on and just play it up a little bit. Obviously, it's still me,
Right.
um, but it's just me with a little mask on, and I like that since it's I don't consider myself and the character one and the same. I can separate anytime I want to, um, and it's just fun. It's just nice, honest fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fair enough. I'm glad you've been able to reconcile that, it seems.
It was tough for a while, but after I found some people, it made me realize that there are actually quite a large number of people that are doing this in their mid to late 30s, early 40s. We have some people that are looking for people that are even older than that.
I mean, that's like I said. There's folks of all. Wow, what the hell was where my brain was? My my speech center just died for a second there. I
You know
apologize.
what? If you're not using it, I could take it off your hands.
You know what? I think it's back. I think I'm good again. I think I'm gonna back up a little bit. It's not you. It's not you. I promise. I just there's a draft in that spot, so I'm gonna there's no draft over here now. So um, thank you for playing along with me.
It's what I do.
So I think we talked a little bit about this already, but as far as like I know that you gave me kind of a rundown about kind of what you do off camera and what your hobbies were, but is there anything, I guess, aside from like general stuff, is there any, how do I phrase this? Because I want to ask what kind of hobbies you have, but in a more like specific way than just general stuff,
Are you
if that
guys are you
makes
trying to ask
sense.
if I have any hobbies that I'm like really proud of or especially interested in?
I guess so, yeah. Anything specifically
Yeah.
that you'd like to talk about for a while, if any.
Um, I really enjoy Danganronpa.
Okay.
Like it is my I don't want to call it comfort series because it's not a very comfortable series. Um, but I just love the world and the character design. And I'm one of those people that will gladly admit that it has a lot of flaws. The characters are very flawed. I feel like I could do better. Um,
Fair.
but I'm okay with admitting that I love trash. There is a social deduction card game based on Danganronpa
Ooh,
that was only in Japan, and I sort of made that a whole tabletop simulator project that lasted for quite a while. There's a group of people that myself and we played that game for about 5 years running.
nice.
Um, it's on Steam. It's under Tabletop Sim Mods. I can probably link you to that too. That's kind of like my baby. That's my. Um, there were so many additions and changes and upgrades to the old system in that where it's kind of taken on a life of its own and become its own thing.
Makes sense. I'll definitely have to check that out. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I could talk about that. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, you're free to if you'd like to.
I mean that's we would need another day.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You
But
mentioned.
yeah, that is one of the things that kind of got me interested in game design and game design philosophy.
Okay, well, you've opened that bag and can't close it now. You mentioned you're kind of into game design. What is there anything major aside from the tabletop simulator workshop that you've been kind of doing, maybe? Or
I used to kind of piddle around with small projects. I didn't finish anything. I
like,
guess I just found it kind of interesting to putter around with code and graphics. Um, I when I say game design, I guess I'm more interested in like, okay, if a player plays this game, what are their options? Or what's the best option? What could they do? What could we do differently? What feels good? What feels bad?
you like theorizing about the craft more than crafting the experiences.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, in the we call it Dangan Werewolf,
That's a great
and
name.
yeah, the idea is that it's kind of a standard social deduction game with like roles that people have, and you have to guess the roles out and find the killer in the group. But you can also take on a character, which usually has abilities that affect the gameplay otherwise. And there are items that you can use that also affect the gameplay. So after 5 years of that and 5 years of iterating, like you figure out what people like, what they don't like. They don't like situations where it feels like they don't have a choice or there's no better choice. They don't like situations where they're not in control. They don't like things that are like unfair or unbalanced. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to think about.
Fair enough. I'm kind of the same way, to be honest. You know, crafting the experience is one thing, but actually bringing it into reality can be a drag sometimes.
Well, I kind of think of it from the standpoint of if you have somebody playing the game that is of this mindset or that mindset, they're always going to do the most optimal thing. They're always going to do the least optimal thing, or they're going to just do something randomly. What are the potential outcomes of that?
Which is the big challenge, obviously.
Yeah, and
And why
then
testing
let's
is
say
so
you've
important.
got somebody that is just intentionally trying to break things. That's probably the first thing that I take care of because it's frustrating when you have all the pieces and somebody finds a way to just break something.
I mean, hey, those are the people who are the most valuable kinds of testers, you know?
They are, but it's annoying.
It is annoying.
It is annoying. It's
It's
like you're
important, but
purposely being
annoying.
dense and playing wrong.
Exactly. But hey, you know, yeah, exactly. I've had multiple people look at my projects and immediately say, I'm going to break it. And my immediate reaction is always, no, please do. I need to know where the
Please
holes
don't.
are.
But I made your toys. Don't break them.
No, but see, that's the thing, right? Playing wrong is just called speedrunning. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, you make the toys, and then when they break them, you know, all right, when I make this again, make the neck joint stronger. You
Oh,
know.
I kind of forgot that people were watching me. Have they
Yes, I.
said anything to me? Did
Uh,
they say how pretty I am?
if we do have anybody lurking at the moment, I'm sure they're all gushing over the character design. I know I am. Um, Unfortunately, we haven't had too much audience interaction, but you know, hopefully
That's
there will be a
okay.
bit more.
That's okay. I'm sure they're all stunned.
Oh, absolutely. I know I am. But see, we have one compliment. Perfect. We have one
Well,
person
I
who
can't
likes the
say. You
model.
have to tell me.
They're saying they like the model.
Oh, thank you.
That's it. But it's nice. It's a compliment.
I really just wanted to hear it.
Well, there you go. Do you feel validated?
Yes.
Excellent.
Also, I can't read.
No, that's fair. It's all right. I can't either, most of the time. So you mentioned that not to drastically change the subject, but I'm going to drastically change the subject. You mentioned you were more of a homebody. Have you any inspirations of traveling? Slash, have you done any traveling in the past, or just kind
I
of
actually
content where
have.
you are? Oh,
I actually have done a fair amount of traveling. Um, back in my younger years, I have been to Australia. I have been to Germany. I spent a fair amount of time in Japan. Um, those are the places that I've been. I haven't really done a lot of traveling in the States. Um, I guess just because there's no place in the States that I've really wanted to go see, you know?
fair enough. A lot of
Yeah.
a lot of other places have a lot more like interesting vistas and fun places to go and whatnot. So
Like I really enjoyed Japan because it's a very urban kind of environment with lots of, lights and signage and all the shopping centers and bars
it's like the heart of New
and
York City, but everywhere.
yeah. And there's all kind of exotic things that I couldn't find in the States there.
That would make sense.
Yeah. That was fun.
Any place you'd want to go again?
Mm. Actually, I kind of want to try going to, I don't know where exactly you would categorize this, but places like Sweden or Norway or one of the kind of like colder climate areas like that.
Yeah, any particular reason?
I guess it's just a place that I haven't been before, and I wanted to see, like when I went to Germany, they had a lot of old world architecture. Like they had a lot of roads and bridges and buildings that have been there for centuries. And I thought that was interesting. And I would think I imagine that in Sweden or Norway they kind of had something like that too. I could be completely wrong. And all I wonder what people from Sweden are like. Um, when I think about yeah, Iceland, I'd like to see what Iceland is like.
Fair enough. So just a general curiosity about like what different cultures are like and what like places
Yeah,
look and whatnot. I respect
yeah.
that.
I love different cultures.
Hell yeah. You seem like a very well traveled individual, like a very very world weary. Not world weary is the wrong word I'm looking for. Very
I've
like
been I've been around a little bit.
yeah. You seem very educated. I hope that doesn't sound condescending, but you seem just very like
No, no.
very down to earth. Very
Yeah, yeah.
I
Funny enough, I
respect
am
that.
down to earth.
You are, in
Um,
fact, very down to earth. There is little
uh,
separating you from the earth.
yeah. I mean, when I got hired into my current job after my interview, the boss, he told me that he liked me because I seemed very down to earth. Um, and the way I'm talking right now is just kind of the way that I talk normally. I like to. I'm a very low key, kind of laid back person. Um, I try to be respectful to everybody. I'm a live and let live kind of person, and I do like to make little jokey jokes every now and then, and people like that.
Fair enough. Well, you definitely have earned, a follower and potential for, maybe we could talk later person in me because I have infinite respect for, the kind of thing that I see on display here. So Assuming you're assuming you're up for that as well.
No,
But
no, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't answer immediately. I was
oh no,
just,
no, you're fine.
I'm not used to getting compliments.
Well, you're getting them today because
Yeah,
you've been nothing but delightful while you've been here. So, all right, we are approaching the end of my prepared question list. But I do like to save one of my more somber questions for last. So,
mm,
if we're okay to jump into that,
yeah.
the question I like to save is since the beginning of your content creation journey, or even beyond that, if you so desire. Overall, would you say that you've changed over time as a person? And if you're okay sharing, how?
Hmm. I'd say I've changed a little bit. Um, like just speaking recently. Um, there was a period of time, probably about a year and a half ago, between a year and a half ago and probably 2 years ago, um, I was actually suffering a lot from anxiety and depression. Um, I had a lot of health problems that I think were brought on by anxiety and depression. And
I'm sorry to hear.
no, it's just I'm trying to find my words. It's just looking back at that time period. Um, it is so very different than how things are now. Like things got really bad. I was in pain all the time. My mental state was just not. It was not working. Um, but I had a lot of support from my mother. You know, nicest lady in the world. Shout out to you, Ma. Um, she
We
helped
stand.
me. She helped me get on the medication that I needed. And if you're on anxiety and if you're on anxiety,
On anxiety. If you're
if you have
doing anxiety,
anxiety and you're trying out medications, it's kind of a crapshoot, honestly, because they're the way things are. So many people have anxiety or depression, and not one. It's not like there's not an anxiety pill. Like it's either this or that, and then you have to deal with this side effect or that side effect. And she helped me find something that worked for her and it worked for me. And just my mental state compared to those two times are so different. Like, I'm really glad that she was around to help me out. And I guess if there's anything to take from this, um, if you are finding yourself with anxiety or depression to the point where it is affecting your work life or social life, and you're just kind of lying around waiting for whatever. um and I know that there's a stigma these days with medication, um which isn't really fair, but I rejected medications for so long. Like I said, I don't want it, I don't need it, I won't be me anymore.
I know
And
plenty
it's
of people
like,
like that.
yeah. And I guess a way to think of it is, look, we're not built for this. You and me, we're not built for modern lifestyles. Like the human mind and the human body is not really built for what we're doing right now.
Very true.
So there's no shame in talking to a therapist. I talked to a therapist too that year, and it helped me a lot. So I guess medicine is fine if you need it. Therapy is very good if you can access it, and if you've got a support network, I'm sure that they can help you out.
A general vibe of don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. It's kind of what I'm getting.
Yes, yes. And with all of that, I'm so happy that things are the way they are right now. Like I've got picking up a pet dog actually did help me out a lot.
Unironically, me as well.
Yeah, yeah. So if you decide to get a pet, I would always suggest a rescue. Um, because I have a rescue dog, and she is the sweetest thing. She's just she's been through so much. That's kind of that kind of reminds me. It's we've both been through a lot. Um, she actually was in a house hoarded with 70 other dogs.
Wow.
And I think it may have been like a puppy mill situation or something.
Yikes.
But when she came out of there, she looked like a damp rat. She had a kidney stone. She had like how do I say this? Do you know what degloved means in a sort of industrial accident sense?
I do, yes. Nobody Google that if you value your sanity.
Yes. So one of her feet had been degloved.
Yikes.
And they had to, she had so much shit happen to her. She had ammonia poisoning from all the piss and shit in the house. Like, I'm going to be blunt here just to get the point through that, animal abuse is terrible, and there's no excuse for it. I don't know what kind of person would allow this to happen to an animal. But she recently, half of the teeth in her head were rotten. So I got surgery just recently to have the rotten ones taken out. She's got basically no teeth in the front part of her upper mouth. But despite all of that, despite the fact that she's blind, she is just so loving. All she wants is to just be with me. She wants to give me attention and play with me, and I just
she sounds like a
just
sweetheart.
So pure,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So another message
scientifically, just having a pet to be around and love on you that you can love, it does help you physically and mentally.
True.
Yeah. But you were saying something?
I was just going to say that's the other message of the day is support your local animal shelter, and if you would like a pet, rescues first, because they deserve a loving home, and if you're willing to provide one, they will be the most loyal companions you'll ever have in your life.
That will give you so much love. It's unreal, the amount of love that they'll give you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, quite a note to end on, but all things
I know we kind of went all around there, didn't we?
Oh, no. We're in full support of everything that was said. So, but all right, we have reached the end of my prepared question list. I don't really have a whole lot else. Last thing is you have the floor. If there's anything you'd like to bring up or talk about, you're more than welcome to. Now's the time.
I was told there'd be food.
Well, there's an audience. Right
how
there.
Much of the audience?
Good question. I don't know why they're laughing, but once the camera turns off, I'm gonna walk off stage and whatever else happens isn't really my concern. So,
okay.
But wait, she can't eat me. We have plans tomorrow. Well, exits that way. Best of luck.
I will be available afterwards for hugs and kisses.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Who wants them?
Everybody make sure you
I was just kidding before.
Yes, absolutely. Totally not. Absolutely.
Aren't I funny?
Very much so. No, in all seriousness, you've been a delight to have on the show, and I have absolutely. This has been a very fun episode to film. Thank you so much for being here. And
it's you've been a lovely host, honestly.
Thank you. I apologize that I'm still kind of awkward and trip over my words all the time.
Hey, talking is a skill, and trust me, I know.
Absolutely. All right. Do you want to go ahead and give us one last shout out of your various places we can find you?
Yeah. You can find me on Bsky. That's Bsky, not X the Everything app. Over at Bellerose Blooms.
It's okay. We dead name Twitter on this channel.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Elon. Nobody's calling it X. Nobody. Maybe you could stop dead naming your daughter, and then we'll talk.
Exactly.
So you can find me there. My Twitch twitch.tv/BelleroseVT, BelleRosetV. No, not TV, VT.
VT.
You can just paste it in the chat there.
I did, yeah. I got both of the links pasted. Don't worry. You also mentioned you had a YouTube channel before the show.
Yeah. Its username is Pulahoko. That's my old internet name. PULLAHOKO.
Fair enough. So those are all the various places we can find you then?
Yes. And if you swing by my Bsky, I'm probably gonna, I like to keep the mask on when I'm on Bsky.
Fair enough. Hey, again, we stand. The VTuber lore hashtag is slowly trending more and more, thanks to me, by the way.
There was one day I logged on, and like they framed it like one of those like posts where it's like, "Hey, ask me anything, I'll respond in character." And I was like, "Okay, everyone just decided to RP today. Great, I love it."
It is so funny you mentioned that. I cannot believe I'm about to say this. I'm gonna feel like such a shill. Would you believe me if I said I started that trend?
Oh no, I did not know that.
Yeah, the whole in-character AMA that took over Bsky for like 3 days. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
hi.
I loved that because you couldn't just say, "Hey, let's all RP," because RP's gross. I don't want to do that. I'll do an AMA in character though.
Hell yeah.
That was so fun because everyone was just in on the joke,
Absolutely. I think it kind of like mobilized all the VTubers in Bsky to suddenly be like, wait a minute, this is actually kind of fun. So
I wish VRP was a thing. I wish VRP was a thing.
Absolutely. I mean, the big companies do it. Why can't we organize shit like that,
Oh, what if my friends find out? Ugh.
Fuck them. Do this for fun.
No, we're already pretending to be a cartoon online. Just accept it.
Exactly. We should get episodes too. Where's my beach episode? Damn it!
I think that out there, I would love to have some sort of thing where it's just kind of like improv, and you just kind of act out little skits or have, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I agree wholeheartly.
Yeah.
But all right, so I think that's going to be it for everything. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for right now. I am going to end stream just to kind of cut the VOD here, but after this, depending on how the rest of my evening goes, I'll probably be live in a few minutes for, I don't know what I'm going to do, probably Tetris, I don't know. But okay. Do be sure to check out Bellerose Blooms on Twitch and Bsky, and also Pulahoko on Twitter. And
thank you very much, Large Hadron Collider.
Absolutely. Thank you, Monster Plant Girl, that is definitely not going to eat my audience after the show. So, yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for looking behind the curtain again with me, and I hope you all have a fantastic evening. I'm going to go tell my dog to fuck off. So, goodbye, everybody. Hope you all have a fantastic evening.